What's good, everybody? Time for a deal short. Um, yeah, I was doing what I normally do, just kind of going through what's on YouTube, my YouTube feed. You know, a lot of it's heavy red pill stuff, and there's a lot of political stuff on there. And I'm just kind of going through, and I stumbled across this clip from um, Law of Distraction, which is it's a clip channel, but they're down with Fresh and Fit. Myron and Fresh are like, yep, go ahead. They sanction what they're doing. Like, you go ahead and do your thing. So shout out to Law of Distraction. So there was people always like to talk to Myron about his dating strategy. Myron is a guy who he says it all the time, like, yeah, I'm never dating just one woman. I have multiple women, and this is why. And he gives his theories as to why he's doing what he's doing. It works for him. But he's upfront with it. He's an honorable dude. He tells everybody, the women, this is how it works. This is how I do it. It works for him. But it's always someone trying to tell him not to do it that way. Don't do what you want to do. Right? Always. It's mostly women, but every now and then you get dudes who say that. Like, oh man, I don't know, man, you shouldn't do that. Why don't you get tired? Don't you just want one woman? So there's a young guy that they had on Fresh and Fit, I guess, earlier in the week, maybe earlier this week or last week or whatever. But there's a clip out here, man. Y'all gotta watch this, bro. Y'all gotta watch this.
Topic that you want to bring up on the
For
show?
Nick,
or-
for us,
yeah,
dating lifestyle.
you guys feel free to.
So are you guys gonna have multiple wives or just one
Oh.
wife?
That's actually a question I wanted to hear. Yeah, Myron, and you were talking
Ye-
about you think you should date multiple girls.
Yeah, you have to.
What? Why? I hear. I'm as a man, like I get it. Like I'm in a relationship. Like there's always temptation. Like it's tough to think dating one. I get that as a man, but you don't think eventually you just want that one girl that you have that thing with.
Okay, the reason why, and there's a psychological reason for why you have to have multiple women, but if I'm going to simplify it, and ladies, you don't get offended by what I'm going to say, but what I'm saying is based in biology and how women operate. Women are very selfish, and what I mean by that is they're always looking for the bigger, better deal. They're looking for the best guy that they can get with their beauty. And the only way that you can really ensure that the woman feels like she's getting the best deal is she needs to know that you're valued by other women. And the best and most honest way to display that is by having other women in play, because it keeps women on their toes and it keeps them competitive, and it lets them understand that their place isn't necessarily secure. Once a woman feels secure with you and she feels like, oh, this guy's not going to go anywhere, that's when disrespect begins. That's when she starts to wonder, hey, do I really have the best guy here? He's kind of letting me run around him and whatever. But when you have other women in place, she understands that her position isn't secure and she's going to behave and act the best way that she can. And you have to do that to deal with female psychology, where they always want the bigger, better deal.
And there you have it. Like, if you watch Fresh and Fit, Myron talks about this all the time. Even when other podcasts, big podcasters come and they're interview Fresh and Fit, they always want to ask Myron about this, right? And the big thing, and he talks about it later in this clip as well, but the big thing is most men do this on some level. Like, most dudes, especially top tier guys, men of status, men with resources, they have women on the side. They just don't tell their wife or their girlfriend, their significant other, that they're cheating. In fact, they deny it. They deny it. And then you go through this silly game of the woman saying, I caught you, or whatever. It goes both ways. The guys do the same thing. I caught you. Who is this? Whatever, blah, blah. What he's saying, I've seen. Now, is that something that I want to do? No. Like, if I'm out there and I'm running a rotation, every woman that I'm dealing with knows that I'm in a rotation. Now, they won't meet each other. I'm not trying to have them like we just all one big happy family. Myron's technique is Myron's. He does something different, but I'll let him, I'll let him know, like, nah, you're not the only one, because you're gonna get that moment where women are like, so what are we moment. And if you're gonna be with her and commit to her, all right, then commit to her and tell her you're gonna just be with her. Don't lie to her. Me, I'm like, you're number one of 5 or 4 or 7 or whatever the rotation is. And if she has a problem with that, all right, man, deuces, peace. I'm not tripping. I'm not gonna lie to you. I ain't got time to deal with that. I don't have time to try to figure out these lies. I'm gonna tell you what it is, and you can deal with it. Put your grown-up pants on and deal with it. But most men will go into the situation she's gonna be the only one until they're on some boat party with their buddy. They're on a yacht party with their homeboy, and they see some Instagram model who's trying to, let him get it. Then he's gonna hit it. You know what I mean? Or he's at the office and old girl Karen from the next office over constantly flirting with him or whatever, and she want to give it to him. He gonna take it. I mean, it is what it is. Right. So Myron has a good point. And then the thing about making them compete, his strategy, I see where he's coming from. She's too busy trying to keep her slot, stay in the number one position, and get the most out of him emotionally and all the rest of it. She's too busy chasing his validation to go allow other dudes, to give her validation, to give her attention, to give her time or whatever. She's too busy because she's trying to hold down this guy that she wants. I see the theory in that. I think it's sound. I think it's sound. I get it. I absolutely get it. I've seen so many women over the years, over the decades, have a guy, known cheater, dudes out there, Ray, Pookie, a Tyrone or whatever, Chad, and he's out there rocking out everybody. Worst kept secret in town. But she stays right there. She'll fuss at him about it, but she stays right there. Some women will go out and they'll mess around in that situation. Well, I'm going to go out and get me some, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to go out there and get me some joystick. They don't really want to do that. They don't want to have multiple guys. They don't want to be giving their bodies to all these different dudes that they know don't care about them. Right. And then the dude, if the Ray or Pookie finds out, he leaves them. So they got to deal with that. So, it's a good point there. Now, again, my number one takeaway from Myron's technique, and the technique I'm talking about, is you want to tell the truth. Be honest.
I have a question also, because I feel like
Yeah,
the
man.
women that
Really?
You disagree with that? Go ahead.
I don't know. Maybe it depends on man to man, different men. I do agree with you that other girls, when they come up to you, they validate you. Because I've been out, and like girls will come up, what up, and then like the hottest girl in the room wants to talk to you. Then I get that. I get, other girls validate you, but I don't think you need to have all of that to keep a one girl, one loyal girl. I think if you're the guy, you're a confident guy, I think you're gonna be fine.
This dude right here, I don't know who this dude is. They called him Nick. I don't know. He's probably a YouTuber or something like that. This guy right here, he talks about, I get it. You want women to validate you. That's female talk, bro. As a guy, you're not looking for female validation. You shouldn't be. You shouldn't be looking for validation from anyone. Think of it as you're a samurai and you're walking the path, bro. You could care less about everyone else. All you worried about is the next samurai that crosses your path, right? That's it. You're not worried about female validation. So this dude right here is a representation of most men out there. Here's a guy who has clout. He's probably got a little bit of money. Probably got a good chunk of money. YouTube fame, right? This dude, he doesn't know anything about anything, right? What do we talk about over here, right? We talk about Sun Tzu, the art of war. Know yourself, know your enemy, right? Know yourself, know your enemy. If you want to be successful, you must know yourself, know your enemy. Now, I'm not calling women the enemy here, right? That's just we're using this as a metaphor, right? Know yourself, know your prospects, know yourself, know your goals, know yourself, know your adversaries, right? Use whatever term you want, but you must know yourself. You got to know yourself just to be 50% successful. You must know yourself. And to be 100% successful, you must know the other side, whatever that happens to be. This guy knows neither. This guy doesn't know who he is. He doesn't know himself. He doesn't know what he wants. He doesn't know what he's dealing with. He hasn't even bothered. So he's sitting there. He's confused. He couldn't wait to talk to Myron because he sees leadership in Myron, right? He sees stoicism in Myron. He sees discipline in Myron, all these things that he doesn't have. And he's looking, he's like, well, you could just get that one woman to have that thing. What thing? What are you talking about? What is that thing? He can't articulate it because he doesn't know what it is. He doesn't know himself. So I'm listening to this guy, like, why is this guy pressing Myron so hard? Let's continue.
But social proof is very important.
It works. It works. I'm not saying it doesn't work. It does work.
Yeah.
What you're saying is true, but I think to have a real, genuine relationship, do you really want to be talking to all these other girls and setting the tone for your relationship? And who knows? Then she's probably talking to other dudes too. What if you just come in there and set the tone? That's not how it's going to be. It's going to be you and me, and that's that.
No, because the reason why she won't talk to other guys is because when a girl's chasing your validation and she knows that she's competing with other girls, she won't have time to talk to other guys.
That's true, but that's one way of going about it. You don't think that's unhealthy?
No, not at all.
You know, you don't think that's unhealthy because you're not doing it the way I do it. He doesn't understand himself. And you notice, oh boy, this Nick dude, I think his name is Nick. He said validation when he's talking about women. Myron said social proof. Two totally different things. This guy must be a friend of the platform because Myron's really letting him off easy. You know, maybe Myron's like, oh, I'm just going to, this is a teachable moment. I'm going to try to help this guy out. But social proof and validation are two completely different things. Social proof will help get women to come holler at you. If I walk into the spot and I walk in with Myron and Fresh, or if I walk in with Patrick Bet-David and his clan, Valuetainment clan, shout out to them. If I walk in with, Brad Pitt, George Clooney, right? If I walk in with Warren Buffett, that's all the social proof I need. No woman in the room is going to question who I am. That's the guy with Warren Buffett. That's the guy who's with Fresh and Fit. That's the guy who's with Valuetainment, PBD. Right? When they look at you like, okay, he is someone because he's with these people. Social proof. Validation is I'm in there and I'm just waiting for people to come up to me and say, ooh, I like your clothes. I like your style. I like your haircut. I like your car. That's validation. That's what women tend to want. Women tend to need to hear these things. Oh my goodness, you're so beautiful. Oh my goodness, girl, look at those red bottoms, girl. You look fierce. Louboutins. Oh, dad, girl, is that an Hermes bag? Hermes bag, or however you pronounce it. Hey, girl, is that new Chanel? You know what I mean? I see you with the latest Ferragamo with the bow tie, you know what I'm saying, flats on or whatever, or the pumps or whatever. Women, they want to hear that. It makes them feel good. Girl, your makeup looks amazing, or you don't wear any makeup at all and you look amazing. Whatever it is, women want to hear these things. That's validation. This guy needs validation. He doesn't know himself. He doesn't know himself. And he doesn't know or understand or wants to accept female nature. But he wants to convince Myron that Myron is going to get tired of unlimited sexual access. Myron's going to get tired of his chosen dating strategy. Like, why, bro? Like, why would you tell another man, right, what you should and shouldn't be doing?
Okay. I mean, because I'm not saying it's wrong or disagree. I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, but I just have the girls
I understand where you're coming from.
I have the girls become friends too. I introduce them to each other because
that is crazy.
If
holy fuck.
Yeah, because and it works because what ends up happening is I vet the girl for a period of time and then I introduce her to another girl I'm dealing with. Well, they have similar ideals because I'm dealing with them. They're both not hoes. They both have some type of moral value, etc. And they end up becoming friends.
Do you think long term that's going to work out?
Well,
or do you think you're going to go find a whole new pair of girls after that crashes?
The thing is it always going to last forever? No, nothing ever lasts forever. But the point is that it's a system that works and it keeps girls on their toes. It keeps girls loyal to you. It keeps girls submissive. It lets them understand that their place isn't necessarily secured. And that's when people tend to work the best. If you have a company, right, and you have a sales company, right, and you have a bunch of salesmen working for you, and it's a competitive nature where everyone is competing, well, they know that their place isn't necessarily secure and they perform the best. But whenever people know that they're tenured and they can't be fired, that's when they behave poorly. This is why women a lot of times after they get married, they stop giving their husband sex, they gain weight, they get fat, they get loud, bitchy, crass. The only way that you as a man, you have to maintain the leverage with women. Because when the woman has...
I mean, and again, I'm going to link this in the bio description below so you guys can, check out the whole clip. But his points are valid. How many of you guys seen that? Now I know women are like, well, dudes will get married and then they'll let themselves go too. Yeah, you get that. The average American is fat. Let's just keep it 100. 70% of Americans are overweight or obese. Let's just keep it 100. And the vast majority of those in that study are obese. So yeah, you're right. You're right. But when you're in a situation where one party or the other did not let themselves go, you're going to have an issue. Now, this guy right here, this Nick dude, I was just kind of curious, like, well, who is this dude and what is his background? Like, what is going on here? Right. So I found another clip, different clip of the same podcast. And yeah, the chat was roasting old boy. And we gonna get to see why. So let's check this out.
Address
Yeah,
that.
go ahead. Yeah,
I can address
just,
that. I'm dating a girl. Yeah, she used to, she does OnlyFans. She used to do a little bit more. Her and I met. Do you guys want? What do you want me to tell you? I don't know. I'll tell you guys. But her and I met at a shoot. I've never been too into that scene. And we hit it off. We went through a lot together. On and off. It wasn't perfect at first. We talked for a little bit. And honestly, like, she blocked me for like 2 months and then came back, and we were on.
So this dude right here who's telling Myron that, hey man, maybe you want to just settle down with the one. Like I said, this guy doesn't know himself, man. He doesn't know what he wants in women, right? So he doesn't know himself. He doesn't know women. He is doomed to fail. Doomed. He will not be successful. Why? Because he's out here just floating in the wind like Forrest Gump. He has no idea what he's doing. He says he meets a woman who's an adult film star, met her at a shoot. He's like, oh, I'm not into that world. And, she does OnlyFans and a little bit more. OnlyFans and a little bit more. What's more than OnlyFans? That's adult content. That's sex work. You feel me? He doesn't understand. He doesn't know himself. He doesn't know what he wants. So how can he possibly hope to be successful in choosing a mate? So you meet this woman. She's in the adult content business, right? She's not just monetizing her body, like monetizing her looks like a model, like she looks good. No, she's out there getting smashed for money. If she's getting smashed for money in the adult film world, what do you think she's doing on her OF account? She's smashing dudes, maybe her quote unquote boyfriend or whatever, for money, or she's, meeting up with guys. Yeah, you pay me X amount. Here's the thing, fellas. If you're going to go out there and you're going to mess with women in the sex worker business, we're talking about, strippers, OF girls, adult film stars, call girls, streetwalkers. If you're going to mess with a woman like that, you got to understand something. You don't want to commit to that. And if you do, you need to understand that she's going to do what she wants to do. Sex really don't mean that much to her. It's think about it, guys. I mean, would you go out there and sell your body? Right? Would you just sell your body to whatever, just nasty, ugly, disgusting women? Maybe a couple average women, maybe a couple dimes will pay you, but the vast majority of them are just women you wouldn't even notice other than to make fun of, right? Would you sell your body to them as a dude? And that whole, sex doesn't affect us the same as women, but still, right? There's no honor, Like you don't get to brag about the whales. We talk about the skeletons in the closet, right? Like, yeah, hey, can't always hit a home run. Ooh, yeah, I got a couple ones. I got a couple big girls. We joke about it as men, but you ain't proud of that. If you can't do it as a guy, and guys like, bro, we can smash anything and forget. How do you think a woman handles the fact that she's out there selling her body to anyone who has the money? And a lot of guys are like, well, strippers ain't like that. Man, look, I've since I moved to Tampa, like Tampa is like the mecca for strip clubs. I didn't know this until I got here. Man, there are strip clubs everywhere out here in Tampa, man. I'm for real. It's so many of them. Like, bro, for real, if you throw a rock, it might hit a strip club, bro. I mean, just randomly throw a rock somewhere and it might bounce off a strip club. There's a lot of strip clubs out here, right? It's the mecca. So the vast majority of women, I ain't gonna say the vast majority, but I'll say maybe 25 to 35% of women you bump into are either strippers or have been in that business at one time or another here in Tampa. Like, especially if you out and about, you know what I'm saying? You get to a point where you're like, man, she probably was in the business if she's not in the business now. Right. So, and I've spoken to, man, in my lifetime, I've spoken to hundreds of women in that business, and they all say the same thing. If you get into this business and you're in this business for more than a year, that's the average. Some say if you're in the business for more than 3 months, some say 3 years. But if you're in the business, I say on average for about a year, You are going to have sex for money. This is what the women in the business tell me. Like, it is what it is. And I'm like, well, that makes sense. Because you getting fast money. And what does Myron say, which I like this phrase, you know what I mean? Fast money comes with slow problems. Like, so you get this fast money. You used to getting this money. You spend. You ain't really worried about it. And then next thing you know, like, oh, shoot, man, I got 4 days to make my rent. Because they done turned up and partied and bought stuff and did this, and they got a dog, they're buying all this extra stuff or whatever. Man, I need $1,400 still to make my rent. I'm short. I got to get this money by Sunday. No problem. It's Wednesday. I'm going to be able to get it. So you going to work Wednesday night, Thursday night, slow, nothing really happened. You didn't really make any money. You might have made $100 here, maybe $200 there, but you still got to eat, got to buy groceries, whatever. So that money's gone. Still need $1,400. But you like, it doesn't matter. The weekend's here. Friday, Saturday, you go in there. It's dead. Ain't nobody messing with you. Friday, Saturday, you need $1,400, right? And a lot of girls are like, yeah, you might come in and make your buyout. Like, you go in and you make basically break even. Like, you paid to get in there. That's, you know, when you tip out and all that. So by the end of the night, on Friday, you might have made $100. Saturday, you might have made $300. You still need $1,000 by Monday. It's Sunday. You need $1,000. How's she gonna get that $1,000? Well, there are guys in the strip club. They live in there, right? Their sexual strategy is to wait for moments like this. This is their sexual strategy. They sit up, they post up, and they wait. They got cash, right? They're part of the basement dwellers. They're the invisible guys, but in there they're seen because that's why they go in there. The women to come up and talk to them. They can have conversations. They cool with everybody. They buy drinks, whatever. And she needs $1,000 and she knows he has it. Right. And it gets to the point where before he might have did that for whatever, just for a little VIP dance or whatever. Now he's like, he understands. He know you need the money. He's aware. Like, oh, she needs this bread. Maybe you said something to him. Maybe he overheard you, but what's going to happen? A negotiation is going to begin. He is going to negotiate for that Foxy Brown because that's what he wants. Oh, you want me to take you to the VIP? Oh, you need this money? Well, I'm going to need this from you. You know what I mean? He'll like, I have protection. He brought his things with him. And she's like, man, I need the bread. So she's like, well, and she's doing the math. Like, well, I got to give a third of this money to the club, or whatever. So I need, okay. We'll go back here. We'll do a VIP dance, and I just need you to tip me X. And her tip is going to be enough to get her over the hump to get that $1,000 she needs so she can pay her rent the next day. This is how that world works. If you attach yourself to a woman in that business or from that world, she's not going to stop. The ability for her to smash is easy, and she will monetize it. If you with her and she wants something and you say, no, I'm not going to buy you that Chanel bag or whatever. We don't have the money, baby. We got to do this or that. Remember we had that party. We had your birthday party. So we can't afford this Chanel bag, or we can't afford to go to this concert or whatever. What is she going to do? She's going to go out there and get that money easily. She's going to go out there. She's going to hit up old boy again and 3 more dudes like him. And then boom, just like that, she's going to have $3,500. And she's going to get that Chanel bag or them shoes, or she's going to buy the tickets for her and her girl to go on that girl's trip to Miami. So just understand what you're dealing with. Yes, other women can do stuff like this. They absolutely can, but most women don't. At least it used to be that way. Now, a lot of women are, because of Instagram and, social media and all that, a lot of women are turning to OF and stuff like that. They're trying it. So you need to be careful. Again, what does this all mean? Know yourself and know your goals, your counterparts, right? Know your adversaries, know the women that you're trying to be with. Know yourself and know the women. If you want to be successful and have that relationship, that monogamous one-on-one, have that thing. The only way you're going to get that thing, which doesn't really exist, right? But the only way you're going to get close to that is if you know yourself and you know the women that you're trying to chase, and you know the kind of woman that you want. So you can weed out the adult film star, OnlyFans girl that you met on set. You on set watching her get her back blown out for money, and you want to date this woman. And one last point, he was saying how, oh yeah, we were back and forth, and she blocked me for a while. She has complete control of this dude. 100% complete control. She walked away. He doesn't want to walk away. And if you watch the clip, you watch the podcast, he was saying, oh, if I ever caught her cheating on me, I'm going to get rid of her, da, 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 da. That's a lie. That's a lie. You can't possibly believe that this woman doesn't have the ability to cheat on you anytime. There are dudes trying to holler at her constantly. She's on set making money. So you got a woman who's out here, and then he goes and says, well, she can't do that anymore. Man, stop it. He doesn't know himself. And he will never be successful in this game. He doesn't know himself. He doesn't know women, because we're talking about womanizing. He doesn't know himself. He doesn't know women. There's no way he could be successful, right? So don't be this guy, right? Don't be this guy. Don't be him. Shout out to Myron Gaines for taking it easy on this guy, man, because, you know what I mean, he could have lit this dude up, and he didn't. He must be a friend of the platform. Shout out to Myron, but there's a lot of dudes out there like that. It's probably you. Don't trip. Don't trip. You're probably like this guy. Came into money. You're young. You don't know how to, you have no game, really. This is what happens. This dude will marry this woman. They'll be married for 7 years. She'll decide to walk away. And if he's the one who makes more money, he's going to get wrecked. Hopefully, like if the dude is smart, he would encourage her to make more money than him. So when she decides to leave him, she'll just leave, because she ain't going to want to go to court. The court will wreck her because she's the higher earner. So hopefully he's up on that game. He's probably not. He's probably not. So that's all I got to say about that, man. If y'all think I'm tripping, man, let me know in the comments. If you think I'm right, let me know in the comments. You know what I mean? Like or dislike, it is what it is. Appreciate y'all rock with me, man. I'm DL Satan. We'll talk to you later. Peace.